Hello and welcome to the Telegraph Studios. We're here today to talk to Mark Bergdahl from Loyalty Consulting UK. Specifically, we're going to talk about the financial services and loyalty cards. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Banks 10 years ago had excellent reputations. Now, reputations in tatters. What can loyalty schemes do to help rebuild that reputation? It sounds a big ask to me.
Well, loyalty goes to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? You know, do we feel loyal to our banks? And I think at Loyalty Consulting, one of the things that we do with banks is help them to look at the problem of customer attrition, gaining new customers, getting customers to engage more with the bank through loyalty treatments to really address this basic issue of the promise and the trust. And so loyalty is at the heart of what banks should be really focused on today. That doesn't necessarily mean a full-blown scheme where there's a reward mechanism in place, but certainly a lot of the principles of loyalty that we espouse and that we help our clients with are fundamental to addressing this problem that we all see today, which is a lack of trust.
What would those principles be, those three fundamental principles you just mentioned? What would they be?
Well, loyalty is all about a promise. It's about a long-term promise to reward the customer for doing something that we want them to do. So for banks, this could be, I mean, we've seen it in past years, a reward for using a credit card, a reward for using to-do. That might be changing their behaviour. Let's learn something about our customers as a result of giving that reward, and then let's apply those learnings to improve the business for the bank, but also to improve things for the customer. So these are the fundamental principles of loyalty that we look to apply for our customers around the world.
Banks have whole departments devoted to customer relations. They're drowning in data. Why do they need the additional thing of loyalty schemes? Haven't they got enough data anyway?
Well, they do have a lot of data, you're absolutely right. One of the problems that we see in the banking industry worldwide is that they don't join up around the customer. They don't do enough to really understand my profile as a customer across a whole banking institution. To give you an example, my bank that I'd banked with for 17 years, a few years ago now this was, I went to live abroad, and for the whole 4 years I was abroad, the bank never recognised the fact that I was withdrawing cash at an ATM in the Far East. Quite incredible. So when it comes to using loyalty to collect data, yes, you're right, a lot of the data already exists, but loyalty provides the opportunity to focus the organisation's understanding around customers.
Shouldn't banks reward all our banking activity? I mean, particularly for customers who don't switch accounts, who don't move their mortgages. All the advertising is to encourage movement. Here's £100 here, £150 there. But shouldn't banks really be rewarding customers who stay loyal?
Well, yes, I agree with you, but I think one of the fundamental issues for most banks are the service. The service is not necessarily as good as it should be across all aspects of banking. My bank, I won't name and shame today, but my bank does a very good job, very happy with them, with the current account, the credit card, and all of the everyday needs of banking. But on the mortgage front, it's like dealing with a different organisation who don't really understand me. And this is one of the issues. Loyalty for banking should be about my banking relationship, not about products.
The thing about banks, I always think, is that their internal communication is so big, they don't really know that the mortgage department talks to the credit card department, talks to the current account department. I mean, how could that situation be rectified?
Well, they've started to try to rectify this problem by introducing, and many banks have had this for years, customer contact rules, so that they control the messages that come out from the bank so that you're not flooded with meaningless communications. The difficulty is that therefore you've got this competition, internal competition between product organisations within the bank trying to get my time, my space, and to communicate with me, and therefore it doesn't look joined up. So this month I might get the mortgage direct mailing, next month I might get the credit card one, and even then, after you've taken all of that into consideration, the application of these rules is not always consistent. For instance, with Barclaycard, I mean, don't we all get a mailing every month about a balance transfer that we don't want?
So to wrap up, if you were going to recommend some three kind of things you should do if you were going to advise a big bank, what would those three things be?
The first and foremost, banks still need to address service. No loyalty scheme is a silver bullet and will fix all of the problems, and it assumes actually that the organisation has actually addressed those sorts of issues, because if you think about it, if I'm going to reward you with something for doing something, no matter how much you reward me, if the service is lousy, I'm not going to engage. So number one, service. Number two, use the data. Start talking to me in a relevant way based on the way I interact with the bank. And number three, use that data then to start to address some of the issues of the customer service. So it's the circle, is using the data in the correct way.
Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.